Hello everyone, Don here, and welcome to the oddball of the Rocket Knight series. For not counting the 2010 game, it is Sparkster on the Sega Genesis. And I don't know how you describe this game. I like it, but it's such a departure from the other two games that I don't know. It's a weird experience. Now, Sparkster automatically starts on a cutscene which you can actually skip, but if you're looking for the best ending, you don't want to skip it. Likewise, you do not want to lose this fight either. It looks like Sparkster is collecting the Master Sword. Apparently Link was on vacation for this one. Yeah, let's just tiptoe to the blade like it's the Ark of the Covenant or something. Round 2, fight! Now we got a redo of the Axel Gear mech fight from the first game. And this one is slightly more advanced, but not really. I mean, you do have a block button this time, so you could take punches. That's it. But other than the inclusion of the block button, you have a punch, and then you have a grand uppercut, which takes more of a while to wind up. And hopefully it does more damage, even though I'm not really telling the difference. Axel can also block, but he has missiles at his disposal when he's at range. Cheating bitch. Bringing missiles to a fistfight? Who do you think you is? It takes somewhere between 6 or 8 hits to take Axel down. I haven't really counted the exact hits. But as long as you're blocking on time with Axel's punches, you really should not be getting hit too often. And Axel is going down with a smile. He don't seem to be too pressed about that defeat. Hell yeah, we're playing the black sheep of the series. Didn't I just defeat you in mecha fight? What are you doing? Here's where the real meat of the game is. You're playing as the title character Sparkster, and his rocket pack is a bit different. Actually, it's a lot different than it was before. Instead of you having to hold down the attack button to charge your rocket booster, the rocket booster charges automatically in this game, and there's also a dedicated button to activate your rocket. The rocket pack also has 2 levels of boost. The first level is just a standard dash, the second level is a corkscrew attack. So it's possible to stay up in the air indefinitely because of how fast your rocket boosters charge up. Another big difference between this game and the previous game, as well as the game succeeding this on Super Nintendo, is the attack, the melee attack. Your standard swing of the sword, which is really just a standard swing of the sword. There's no special beam, there's no multi-hit combo, it's just a sword swing. You don't even get invincibility frames. The Possum Sword Strike is limp dick. It's very short range. I would say that the sword is very reminiscent to any vampire killer from Castlevania, but it's just too short and too slow. You'll get yourself hit quicker than you'll hit the enemy with the sword. Now, there is an upgrade for the sword, but it barely does anything other than just put a fire effect on it. The damage with the fire sword is not that much better than the standard sword. And the thing with this game is, you get hit with the fire sword, you lose the fire sword. So you don't even keep the damn thing for that long anyway. Downgrade on weapons with a tiny bit of an upgrade on the traversal system, even though Sparkster's ground speed is kind of shitty. There is a bit of a slot machine gimmick that's kind of needless and random. Now if you look to your upper right, you'll see these slots. Bam is bad, don't get Bam, even though that's eventually going to happen because the slots are just that stupid. What that does is that will drop a bomb on Sparkster's head, which you can avoid, but it's just dumb. Blue crystals are good, you want to get blue crystals, those are points. Red crystals will give you another slot machine try. Fruit, meat, those are your health. Fire, that's your special attack. And yeah, I think that's all of them. You see that sword planted in the ground? You're going to need that sword if you want the special ending. There are going to be 4 swords, get it, scattered throughout the entire game. There are technically 5 levels in this game, but the 4th one is an auto-scroller, so there's no sword on that one. Man, that attack is so asinine. Oh, why did they change it? Also, why did they change Sparkster's design? He looks like a freaking Super Saiyan now. This was definitely in the midst of 90s Attitude Era. Say what you will about 2000's Edge, which was also cringy as hell. 90s Attitude was probably worse. Anyway, we got something of a mini-boss, even though it's more of an obstacle. You have to unscrew the bolts in order to dismantle this, whatever this thing is, that little pillar in the washer. I don't know what you call these things. Some of the screws will be on different sides of the pillar, so you have to watch out where they come from. And sometimes the pillars will, or the screws rather, will just stay in the middle. I think it follows some sort of pattern, but it's also a tedious pattern. And you also have to watch out for bombs. There are platforms that will take you to the screws that are located on that side. Damn it! No! I missed my chance, and now my life is ruined for it. Oh no, I got another one. Wow, 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 wow. There we go. Nice! Okay, one more screw to go. Did I mention the soundtrack is freaking amazing? I think I prefer this, actually no, I prefer the Super Nintendo Sparkster, but I think I like this over the original Rocket Knight soundtrack. And then you got the Super Nintendo version, which does have a lot of the same tracks as this game, but it's Super Nintendo, it sounds way better. Now we're in the second section of the first level, which is the Forest of, however you pronounce this kingdom or nation's name. Let me look at the manual again. Oh, it's not that hard to pronounce, it's Zephyrus. Or, in the international version, it's Zephyrus. Actually, I'm gonna call it Zephyrus because it sounds cooler. Zephyrus sounds like an incurable sexual disease. But the forest section is a bit dangerous in that some of the enemies hit hard here. And also this, oh, I missed the life! And if there's anything you need to know about Rocket Knight Adventures 2, it's that this game is fucking hard and unfair sometimes. Alright, here's the true first mini-boss, Tree. I did not know I was playing a Kirby game. In fact, I don't even think I've ever played a Kirby game. Well, that's kind of sad. Anyway, the tree has a couple of different attacks. It tries to punch at you, and it also throws bombs from the top of the screen. If you stay to the super far left of the screen, nothing will touch you except for the bombs, but you can spin dash the bombs and knock them out before they touch you. I mentioned before that Sparkster has a bit of a bad control scheme on the ground, and that's because he slips and slides like he's on freaking butter or something. Moving the character and then stopping does not mean the character stops immediately. He still kind of walks along for a little bit before stopping. It's kind of a weird momentum-based system. I would say it feels like Sonic the Hedgehog, but it doesn't have the snappiness or fluidity of Sonic. So I think it feels more like Hook on the Sega Genesis, if anybody's ever played that version of Hook. I think the Super Nintendo version of Hook was also similar? I don't know. I've only played the Sega Genesis version. The enemies this time around are lizards. No longer are the pigs from the Pig Empire from the previous game. No, we got lizards now. And we no longer strip enemies with our swords. They just kind of fall off the screen and die. That's kind of morbid. Anyway, here's another thing that Sparkster likes to throw at you, or at least the Genesis version of Sparkster. Really tight corridors that you have to rocket through. That's usually accompanied with very fast enemies or obstacles to avoid through these tunnels. The sequel loves putting these everywhere. The first game it was more like once or twice. Here it's just straight up everywhere. Here's another mini boss, and this is I don't even know what this guy is. It's just a lizard and a ball. How quaint. But this guy's got a couple of different attacks. He just bounces around, throws bombs, and then whenever he gets to his second phase, or rather his second form of attack, he rolls around in a clockwise formation, then repeats the bomb throwing, and then he rolls back around in a counterclockwise formation. There is one attack, quote-unquote attack, where he disposes fruit items, which he can get health back from, because he's an idiot. Anyway, here's section 3. It's a gigantic truck convoy, and an auto-scroller. Freedom Planet may love their giant trucks, but they don't have auto-scrolling levels. Hell, I don't even think Super Mario 3 had... Oh wait, actually they did. Super Mario Bros. 3 did have scrolling levels like this. But the problem here is that Truckster does not know how to... Sparkster, rather, does not know how to walk. I think I just create a new character. Truckster, the whiskey-drinking, truck-driving rascal. Fuck. That would be a character you would totally see in the 90s. Man, I was born too late. Well, January 1998, yeah, that's Y2K. I was born too late. Oh. Even though I grew up with the Sega Genesis, that was actually my brothers who were born way, way, way earlier than I was. And surprisingly, the goddamn thing still works after, what, 33 years? My old copy of Sonic 2 and G-Lock Air Battle from 1992? They still work. But then again, I clean my stuff semi-regularly, so makes sense. But I keep looking at my PS2 and XY keeps freezing. Oh yeah, remember that with older consoles? Whenever there's like the slightest of tremors, then that's when the damn thing freezes. Especially if it's a longer game, like an RPG like Phantasy Star 4 or Shining Force. And somebody decides to step near the console by accident, thus erasing your progress, even your save data. Yeah, I'm not speaking from experience or anything. Anyway, that is a tragic childhood story aside. We got a boss. This is the actual stage boss. And this guy is a pain in the ass. I don't know how you can deal with this thing without getting hit. I think you have to just rocket up and keep in the air endlessly until he slows down, because whenever you hit him, he speeds up and just goes ballistic. And right there, I should have got smacked in the face, but I didn't get hit. Even by its own rules, the game doesn't make sense. But the target you're aiming for is going to be the black orb that's going to be on top of the truck. And if you thought that boss was bad and poorly designed, things get 10 times worse from here. Welcome to the desert planet from Spaceballs. It's not even Tatooine, it's just desert planet number 55. Anyway, this place is annoying because not only are there deadly traps and weird shit, but there's also lava here. I didn't think lava would overlap with desert, but I guess anything's possible with Sparkster. Anyway, you can only take the bottom path here, because if you take the top path, then there's going to be a giant twister that will spin Sparkster to the left of the screen. Doesn't hurt, but it just loses you progress. Oh sweet! Flame Blade I'll lose in 2 seconds. At least the soundtrack is catchy. You see, there are a lot of good things about Sparkster, or Rocket Knight Adventures 2, but there are also a lot of bad things about Rocket Knight Adventures 2. It's like the game is caught between being average and being shit. Like the control scheme, for example, is definitely a black mark. I don't know why Sparkster slips all over the place when he didn't before. And also the stiffness of it all. I know he's in armor, he's in thick armor, and he's meant to move like that. But he didn't move like that in the first game, so why is he moving like an asshole all of a sudden? Oh god, that's the wrong way! The trajectory was all wrong with that one. At least you don't die in one hit from those things, that's good. Jesus, that's kind of violent. I think this is the only Sparkster game with any sort of dismemberment. Well, if you count the Pigmaster from the first game, sure, but he was a robot, does not count. And you want to watch out for these rolling balls here, kind of like Indiana Jones. You can spin dash through these things in order to not get hit, or simply just run away from them. Here's where the second sword is, and the hardest sword to get. You have to go to the topmost entrance, and find a way to dash through this hallway without getting crushed. And believe me, the crushers are freaking fast. It is so unbelievably quick. You're slow, Sparkster is slow after all, and if you dash at the walls at the wrong angle, you will die. You will die so hard. Ouch. You can very easily lose a continue or 3 just trying to do this section alone. There's barely any room for error. If you want the good end, you need to do this. Make sure you jump up here before you go through that door at the bottom, and there's your second sword. And it only costed me 2 lives. Ah, fuck that noise. Anyway, let's proceed on with the rest of the stage. And yes, there is more lava, but luckily it doesn't kill you in one hit. In fact, there are rarely any instances of one-hit kills in this game, other than pits and crushers, of course. Everything else takes at least half a heart or a full heart. You want to watch out for the electrical gates here, which you can just duck under in order to avoid. Everything else is just platforming and not dropping into the lava by using your rockets. Okay, I see I have to boost through here, because those spikes might crush me. And I'm not sure if that's an instant death, but I'm not gonna chance it. Thank God for iframes! And this game is wonky. That was also a thing in the first game, the invincibility frames, but here it seems like it's more inconsistent on when Sparkster is actually invincible during the dash. Sometimes it works out well, other times you just get knocked out of your dash. The section, or the stage as a whole, may look like a maze, but it's really not that complex. You do have doors that will loop you back around, but 9 times out of 10 you just go back to the beginning of the same room. So you don't lose that much progress at all. You want to be careful with the bats, because if you let them linger, they're hard to hit and they just move around all over the place. And here's the mini boss of stage 2. It's going to be a fire golem, or some sort of fire demon thing. The thing follows a very simple pattern. Why did I take a hit there? He goes up, then he goes into the middle, and then he goes down. That's basically it. This is the most simple boss in the game. The only catch is you need to hit the boss while the mouth is open. That's that boss down, and we got another more extremely annoying boss to deal with. And I mean, this boss is the worst guy in the game. He's so bad. But first we gotta deal with another platforming section. It's a good thing I'm not Mega Man. And it's a good thing I have a jetpack. You can attack the lights, and by doing so, you'll uncover some hidden platforms. The only problem is the light sources are few and far between. So I just use my rocket here, which charges up super quickly. And without further ado, here's the worst boss in the whole entire game. This guy is... Serpentine? Apparently he has a problem with possums too. But no, this boss is freaking annoying because he can grab you out of nowhere and just toss you all around the room. He can even snatch you out of your dash, which I didn't even think is possible, but somehow it is. God damn it. And the claws come out quickly too, so I'm not sure how you can even avoid this attack. So I stay far away from the bastard, even though he's off screen and I can't see what he's gonna do next. He's got another attack where he hides in the background, the punk ass, and he uses his tail to attack. You can't hit him while he's in the background, so you have to wait until he comes up the... Get off of me! Such a big fucking target. Ah, great, he's going into the background again. Might have to stay in the air again. I mean, I think that's all this boss fight is good for, is staying in the air. Haha, gotcha. Not so tough now. You're going back to the background? Are you serious? This boss fight sucks. And you gotta hit the snake in a very specific location. I think it's the torso or the head. Oh, god damn it. I think I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. Fuck! Let's attempt that boss fight again with hopefully less death. Honestly, I have no other advice on how to deal with this boss other than just stay in the air, because this guy's a freaking shit show. If you stay on the ground, you're screwed. That's that's how bad this boss fight is. Anyway, Bootleg Serpentine is down, even though this game came out 20 years beforehand. And, oh god, the slowdown. This slowdown does not look that great.
You'll pay for this!
What the hell is that? Anyway, stay tuned for part 2 where we deal with more of this nightmarish game. I'll see you later.